Chronoswiss is a higher-end independent Swiss brand that really does dynamic and bold and out there type of timepieces with unique combinations of complications. And I have yet to feature one on my channel in nearly a decade of creating various watch videos. So I'm excited about this one. Let's take a look at this Chronoswiss Spacetimer Jupiter. This is limited to 50 pieces, and instead of an individual number on the case back of this watch, it's actually printed or it's engraved in a plate that carries the logo on the dial side. And that's found over by the 3 o'clock position on this plane. And I think that's the positive part about this watch. The really attractive element of the Spacetimer is this 63 component layered dial that has a lot going on, from various colors to different complications. So I'd like to talk about the details. I'd like to talk about the positives and the negatives and show you just how nice of a watch this one is. Now, before I do that, let me first shout out to Exquisite Timepieces. They're a family-owned brick-and-mortar authorized dealer that carries Chronoswiss, and they lent this watch in for review. I've been borrowing watches from them for years. I've been buying watches from them for years. So if you're shopping Chronoswiss, if you're shopping Omega or Grand Seiko or Seiko or Longines or Blancpain or Breguet or any of the brands that they carry, I recommend them, and a link will be in the description. Now let's get to this dial. This is what Chronoswiss refers to as a 3D nano printed dial, whose colors are meant to reflect those of the planet Jupiter. So you can see some oranges, some rust tones, some red tones, some lighter beige tones, and they really look great under the macro lens. And then you'll notice there are some transparent discs that will integrate the hours and the date layout here over top of this Jupiter-inspired nano-printed dial. And these discs are crafted out of ITR-2, which is a composite resin that is comprised of carbon nanotube particles. So it sounds very space age-esque to me, but essentially ITR-2 is a composite that's just very strong and very lightweight. Now note that there will be the hours, the minutes, the seconds, the pointer date, and the moon phase complications all integrated in a vertical layout. And I love seeing this open work gear train. These components in this anchoring bridge, they're very well finished. There is some englage here. There's some nice brush work. And like I mentioned earlier, this dial is comprised of 63 separate components. And that complexity, I think, really pays off in the overall presence here. So this case design, it actually harkens back to a design that's nearly 30 years old that Chronoswiss debuted in a model called the Regulateur. That came out in 1988, and you can note, I'll put a side-by-side here, you can note the circular case, just overall shape with the linear style lugs. Those lugs will have screw-in lug pins to attach the strap to. There will be an onion-style crown, and then that vertical displays of various complications. With the original Regulateur, that was hours, minutes, and seconds, but obviously on this one, there are a couple extra different complications. This modern Spacetimer will measure in at 44 millimeters of case diameter, 53.5 lug-to-lug distance, 14.5 in overall height, with a 22 millimeter lug width and a 100 meter water resistance designation. So this watch, I think, really is meant for those of us that have larger wrists or enjoy a larger wearing watch. It really is powerful. It really draws the eye in, and the fit and finish is outstanding, especially considering this price segment of about $18,000. Now, this watch will have a modified ETA movement called the C-308 caliber. This is a highly modified 2895 movement with a 4 Hz beat frequency and a 42-hour power reserve. Note that there will be purling and striping and a darkened open work or skeleton style rotor that you can view through an exhibition crystal on the reverse of the case. Now let's go back to this dial, which I think is really the star of the show here, and take a look at a couple other elements and details. You'll note that this moon phase is done on a dome, and that dome is crafted out of titanium, another high strength, low weight type of material. And then the moon phase indicator is a very small red sphere that, I don't know, maybe is a nod to Jupiter's reddish volcanic moon that is, the name is Io. So that is not anywhere in Chronoswiss's website, but I like the fact that there's a small little indicator. It's not necessarily that functional to see the exact moon phase, but this is not necessarily a traditional watch. Now let's go to the lume shot. This lume is fantastic. It's not just printed generously on the ITR-2 discs and the handset. This is also placed in the markers that will be crafted out of a superluminova-infused ceramic cylinder. So there's depth there, and there's really good longevity when it comes to that superluminova compound. Now let me show you the strap that this comes on. This is a hand-sewn black alligator strap with a very ingenious quick adjustment system for this deployant buckle that will be signed. It does have very nice finish work. It does match the design of this case. But check out how this quick adjust works. I wish all brands would do something similar when it comes to deployant buckles. I think this is highly functional. So that all said, let's talk positives and let's talk negatives here. I'll start with the positives. This is an excellent design. It has fantastic wrist presence. I love the fit and finish. I think this is a unique combination of various complications, various colors, and it makes good use of modern materials and methods that are used to create this watch. So I mentioned some of them like titanium and ITR2, the loomed ceramic markers, and then the lasering and the nano printing that are involved in the dial creation of this complex dial. Now the details are very sharp, very crisp. I love the low light lume. I think that quick adjust is excellent, and I like the limited nature of this watch. I think exclusivity is important on a watch that's approaching $20,000 full retail. I think that is a good thing. Now, when it comes to drawbacks, I think there's one that's not subjective. You may disagree with me, but in my opinion, I think this is executed well, but the fact that there is a modified ETA, it just feels a little bit disappointing at this retail price. It's a little bit small in this larger case size, and I know some collectors really prefer the in-house movements that are highly decorated and whatnot when you're spending over $15,000 full retail. But anything else I think comes down to subjective preferences. On the whole, this is a very unique piece, a very fun piece that I'm glad I've been able to spend some time with and to highlight here on the channel. So if you have any specific questions, please let me know. Reach out to me in the comment section, or you can email me directly. I'll do my best to answer those questions. And then again, if you're shopping Chronoswiss, if you're shopping any of the brands that Exquisite carries, I'll leave a link in the description. Thanks for watching today. I'll see you in the next video.